California is driving people out. The real reason so many are leaving. You've heard the stories. Thousands of people are fleeing California, but the real story is even more alarming because for many families, the cost of staying has become impossible to justify. Yes, people are leaving California, but the real story runs way deeper than any of the headlines. In this video, I'll break down why the California exit is real, why the math stopped working for so many households, who's leaving and where are they going, what the media keeps getting wrong, and what all this means for you. And if you're set on living in California, at the end, I'll leave you a ray of hope for how you can buck the trend and achieve your golden state dreams. I'm Melina Rissone, associate broker with Coldwell Banker West here in San Diego. I've worked with people who have left California, and I'm talking to a lot more who are seriously thinking about moving out. These are people who moved here expecting the dream and then ran straight into the financial reality. So let's talk honestly about what's driving this trend, because whether you're a California homeowner or a potential buyer, this affects you. If you think the California exit is just media hype, look a little closer. Yes, California has been losing residents to other states, but the picture is more complex than most people realize. The state isn't suddenly emptying out overnight, and not everyone is leaving for the same reason either. What's really happening is that a meaningful number of people are deciding the cost of staying no longer lines up with what they're getting. Some still love California, some don't want to leave at all. But the monthly pressure has gotten too high, and eventually that starts driving decisions. That's why this story gets you so emotional. For many people, leaving California isn't about rejecting the state. It's about feeling pushed into financial decisions they never wanted to make. For many households, the problem isn't desire, it's just math. So here's where the math of living in California stopped working. Many people will say they're leaving because they want more space, less traffic, or lower cost of living. And those things are true and valid. But they all lead back to the same common thread. The numbers just don't add up for them anymore. First, let's address the elephant in the room. Home prices. In 2026, California's median home price is expected to rise 3.6% to $905,000. In major cities like San Diego, that number is even higher. And only 11% of local households could afford to buy a home here right now on their current income. And the fundamentals of California's real estate industry aren't helping. Our new construction is lagging way behind demand. Meanwhile, interest rates may go down slightly this year, but if you're hoping for the low interest rates like we saw 5+ years ago, you're going to be disappointed. But for many households, it's not just the home price, it's everything stacked on top of that contributes to the high cost of living here. Mortgage payments, property taxes, insurance, utilities, groceries, gas, childcare, repairs, HOA fees. And for some homeowners, it's those surprises insurance increase the maintenance costs that all hit at once. One rising cost on its own might feel manageable, but when all of them rise together, people start doing a very serious review of their budget. That's when California begins to feel less like a dream and more like a financial pressure cooker. And this is where a lot of out-of-state comparisons start to hit hard. Compare California's $1 million homes with what you'll find in the other end of the spectrum. In West Virginia, for example, the cheapest state to live, the median home price is around $150,000. Yes, you heard that right. It costs 6 times as much to buy a home in California as in West Virginia. People look at what the same monthly payment could buy somewhere else, and then suddenly the contrast becomes impossible to ignore. More house, more land, lower taxes, and overall more financial breathing room. Now, of course, cheaper isn't always better. I've talked to plenty of people that moved away and later realized the trade-off was bigger than they expected. And of course, plenty of people are still moving here and even coming back. But for none of the changes, the facts changed. California became too expensive to comfortably hold on for many. Here's what people don't talk enough about when it comes to affording California. It's not only about income, it's your entire situation. Do you have family support? Are you trying to buy today from scratch, or do you already have equity that you can use from selling somewhere else? Those factors are important. Someone who bought years ago may feel financially secure here. Someone trying to enter the market today may feel shut out before they even start. That's why this conversation can feel so divided. Two people with the same income can live in the same area and have completely different experiences of the California coast. Not everyone leaving California is leaving for the same reason. either. When people talk about Californians leaving, they often act like it's one giant wave moving to one giant reason. That's not how this works. There are different groups making different choices based on life stage, finances, priorities, and so forth. Some are younger households chasing affordability. Some are families looking for more square footage and a lower monthly budget. Some are retirees or near retirees deciding they'd rather unlock equity and reduce expenses. Some are remote workers. If I can live anywhere, why am I paying California prices? And where do they go? Usually places where they believe their money goes further. The pace feels easier, or families closer. For some, that means nearby western states or parts of the deep south. But the most common states Californians are moving to are Texas, Florida, Arizona, and Nevada. The destinations vary, but the reasons are sometimes the same for families. By the way, if you're enjoying this topic and want more real estate insights, make sure you subscribe. And if you're wondering what your home might be worth in today's market or whether a specific San Diego neighborhood still makes sense for your goals, reach out for a free personalized home valuation or neighborhood consultation. Sometimes one good conversation saves people from making very expensive mistakes. Now back to the video. Here's where the story of people leaving California starts getting distorted. This topic gets attention because it sounds dramatic, but it leaves out almost all of the context that actually matters. It doesn't tell you who's leaving, whether they're renters or owners, or whether they're under financial pressure. And it definitely doesn't tell you what's still happening in our local markets. It also creates a false assumption that if people are leaving, then demand must be collapsing. That's just not how real estate works, especially in a place as varied as California. Some areas are staying ultra competitive because supply is still tight and the buyer pool in those areas hasn't disappeared at all. Some price points are more vulnerable than others. Some neighborhoods keep attracting buyers because of schools, coastal access, job centers, and so forth, and people are still willing to pay for that. And there's another factor to consider. Not everyone who's leaving is struggling. Some households are making these moves from a position of strength. They own a valuable property, they have substantial equity, and they're making a strategic decision. Sell here, buy there, lower the cost of living, keep a meaningful amount of money in the bank. That's a very different kind of move than someone who feels priced out, but both can feed the same headline. That's why these migration stories get oversimplified so easily. They can include a family under pressure, a remote worker making a strategic choice, and a retiree cashing out after years of appreciation. The news stories also focus almost entirely on homeowners. You never hear about the situation with renters. Well, isn't this important to consider? The media often talk more about homeowners leaving California than about renters because it's more dramatic. But all of these demographics are important if you want to see the entire picture. But the most misleading part of the headline is this: out-migration and strong housing values can exist at the same time. That's hard for people to wrap their heads around, but it's true. A state can lose residents to other states while still having tight inventory, strong demand in certain pockets, and price support from buyers with equity, cash, or higher incomes. That's why broad state-level news stories aren't enough to guide a real estate decision. Real estate is too local for that. One neighborhood's market may be soft while another still moves quickly. One home can sit while a similar one sells fast because of a better layout, better location, or even better marketing. Add in insurance differences, school boundaries, HOA structure, buyer psychology, and you can see how some homes can attract demand even at high prices. That's why you can't take a statewide headline and use it for your moving plan, your pricing strategy, or your answer about whether San Diego still makes sense. If you own a home in San Diego, here's what the California exit means for you. The fact that some people are leaving California doesn't mean your home is in trouble. It doesn't automatically mean values are coming down or falling apart, and it doesn't mean buyers have disappeared. What it does mean is that buyers are more selective, more payment aware, more sensitive to the total cost of ownership than they were a few years ago. That changes how you should think about your home. If you're selling, you need to understand what your property offers in today's market and which buyer is most likely to want it. A coastal home, a walkable urban condo, a family home near schools, and a low-maintenance downsizing option are not competing for the same person. Your pricing, presentation, and marketing strategy have to reflect that. If you're staying in California for the next few years, this is still useful information. It tells you how buyers are thinking. It tells you what kinds of homes still feel compelling despite the cost, and it helps you understand where your neighborhood stands if you decide to make a move later. With San Diego homeowners, this is what they need to hear. The headlines are not the market. San Diego has its own pressures, of course. Housing is expensive. Insurance can be a real issue in certain areas. But our city also continues to attract people for very specific reasons. Coast, weather, healthcare, biotech, defense, universities, character of neighborhoods. That doesn't make it affordable for everyone. It just means demand here is more nuanced than the broad California narrative suggests. And this is exactly why neighborhood level advice is so important. Estela in La Mesa is dealing with a different market than someone in La Jolla. A homeowner in Oceanside isn't dealing with the same buyer pool as someone downtown. Even within the same part of San Diego, one street can feel stronger than another based on school district, lot size, upgrades, or insurance profile. That's why I always come back to the same point. The right decision starts with your numbers, your timeline, your neighborhood, and your goals. Not a headline, not a general feeling, a real plan. Before you make any major move, get the facts on your specific property. What if you're dead set on going against the grain and buying in California? Even if high prices are an issue, you still have options. Let's start with financing because the right loan makes a bigger difference than you might realize. FHA loans let you get in with as little as 3.5% down and more flexible credit terms. Veterans and active military can do even better with the VA loan, 0 down, no PMI, and a competitive rates. And California's CalHAFA program can offer down payment assistance. If you haven't owned in the last 3 years, you may still qualify as a first-time buyer under these guidelines. Now, where can you actually find something more affordable? There are certainly more rural areas of California where you can find a bargain, but depending on your budget, you'll find great opportunities even right here in San Diego County, El Cajon, Santee, out in East County. There's more square footage for your dollar. National City, Chula Vista, and South Bay still have more accessible entry-level prices, and City Heights, Encanto, Spring Valley, Lakeside are all worth a look if you're open to being a little further away from the coast. Now, affordability does come with trade-offs, and the buyers who succeed are the ones willing to accept them. That might mean a fixer-upper, priced lower in the get-go, build equity over time. It might mean starting with a condo instead, or it might mean co-buying with a partner or family member to split the financial load. Buying in California is hard, but it's not impossible. The buyers who make it work don't always find the perfect solution. They find the best available one. So here's the bottom line. Yes, the California exit is real. Yes, the costs become too much for a lot of people. But no, the headlines don't tell you the whole story. They shouldn't be the one thing guiding you for your strategic move. The real story is more personal than that. It's about trade-offs, timing, and individual circumstances. Some people are leaving because they feel pushed out. Others are leaving because they see a strategic opportunity. Some are staying because of them. San Diego is still worth every bit of the premium. And some are staying simply because this is still their home. If you're wondering whether it's time to sell, downsize, relocate, or simply see where you stand, subscribe for more San Diego market updates and reach out for a free personalized home valuation report or neighborhood consultation. Whether you're leaving the state, staying, or moving in, it helps to know your options before you decide. If you're trying to figure out where you fit in that picture, that's exactly the kind of conversation I'd be glad to help you with. My name is Melina Rissone. I'm a real estate broker with Coldwell Banker, and thanks for watching